There is a specific moment in your life. It happens in the quiet. After the argument. After the silence. After you've given everything to a friendship, a relationship, or a family dynamic, and you finally look up and realize the room is empty. There is a moment where you suddenly realize no one is coming to help you. And deep down you already know that. No one is thinking about you the way you think about them. And no one actually cares as much as you believed. Not your friends, not the people who laugh with you. Not even the people who say, "I'll always be there for you." Because the truth is, people don't care about you. They care about how you make them feel. And once that feeling fades, so do they. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that moment where you realized you were alone in a room full of people? I have. I remember sitting in my car after a conversation with someone I thought was my closest friend, and realizing they didn't hear a word. Let me paint you a real situation, and I want you to think. When did this happen to you? It's 2 a.m. You're going through something heavy? Maybe heartbreak, maybe anxiety, maybe that feeling of drowning while standing on dry land. You decide to open up to someone you trust. You explain everything slowly, peeling back the layers. You're vulnerable, raw, hoping they'll understand. And for a moment, it feels like they do. They listen, they nod, they say the right things. Stay strong. You'll be okay. And you feel a little better. Not because your problem is solved, but because you think, finally, someone gets me. But then, a few hours later, they're laughing with someone else. Posting stories, living normally. You're still sitting there, replaying the conversation, analyzing their tone, and then it hits you. They were never really in it with you. They were just passing through. Be honest. How many times has this happened to you? I'll go first. I've had this happen with friends I knew for 10 years. 10 years. And in one moment of vulnerability, I saw the distance. Quick question. Who's the one person you thought would always be there, but wasn't? Yeah, I felt that too. Let's keep going. So what is these? Why do people act like they care, but don't actually stay? Without they say, "I'm here for you" with such conviction, but disappear when you actually need them. Is it fake? Are people just pretending? Because if you look closely, this pattern is everywhere. It's in your family, your Maria, your workplace. Let me say something that might hit. We are living in an era of performative care. We send thoughts and prayers, but we don't send time. We send "let me know if you need anything," but we don't check in. We have confused liking with loving. You've seen this happen, right? I remember scrolling through my phone one night, realizing I had 800 friends on social media, and not one person I could actually call at 2 a.m. Once you see this mechanism, you can't unsee it. Here's what's really happening. People do not connect with your pain. They connect with how your pain affects them. Think about it. If your problems are easy to listen to, they stay. They stay. If your emotions are light, they stay. If your presence is comfortable, they stay. But the moment it becomes heavy, complicated, something shifts. They don't leave instantly. It's slower than that. They reply less, engage less, leave you unread more. They slowly create distance. Not because they hate you, but because you stop being easy. And most people only stay where things feel easy. Let that sink in. Here's the tragic irony. You would have stayed for them. You would have sat in the dark with them. But they won't sit in the dark with you. And that's the imbalance that breaks people. Let me tell you something that's hard to hear. Most people don't miss you. They miss what you gave them. Sit with that for a second. The attention, the validation, the comfort, the way you made them feel about themselves. When you stop providing that, they don't wonder how you're doing. They wonder why they feel less good. That's not love. That's consumption. Let's get into the psychology, because this isn't about evil people. This is about evil. Your brain is designed to protect you, to avoid stress, discomfort, emotional overload. Psychologists call this cognitive load. When someone comes to you with deep problems, your brain reacts instantly. It triggers a flight response. This is too much. This is going to drain me. There's a concept called compassion fatigue. It's why doctors burn out. It's why therapists need therapists. And even if you care, you subconsciously start pulling away. You change the topic, give short advice, create distance, because deep emotional involvement costs energy. Here's a question for you. Think about the last time someone came to you with a heavy problem. What was your first internal reaction? Be honest. We also have to talk about attachment theory. Most people today have an avoidant attachment style. They crave connection. But when connection becomes real, they run. They are allergic to depth. So when you feel abandoned, it's often not personal. It's their own psychological limitations staring back at you. They can't hold space for you because they don't even know how to hold space for themselves. Let me pause here. I know this is heavy, but here's why I'm telling you this. Because once you understand why people leave, you stop blaming yourself, and that's when you start healing. Okay, let's look at real examples. Let's make this real. Look around your life. Friendships. How many people are there when things are fun? Now think, how many are there when things get serious? When you're struggling, not entertaining anymore. Notice something, the number gets smaller. There's a name for this. Fair weather friends. They love the sun. Hate the rain, but life is rain. Life is storms. Relationships. People fall in love with your easy version. Your happy version. Confident version. But when you finally show your fears, they get uncomfortable. They say things like, "You've changed." But the truth is, you didn't change. You just stopped hiding. I remember when I stopped hiding with someone I loved, I thought, finally, I can be real. They left within 3 months. That hurt. But you know what hurt more? Realizing they never loved me. They loved the mask, family. Sometimes the deepest loneliness is at the dinner table, surrounded by people who've known you for decades, but you can't tell them how you're feeling. Let me ask you something. How many people in your life know the real you? Not the Instagram you. Not the I'm fine you. The real you. Count them. Most people count 0 or 1. That's not a failure. That's reality. And now, the truth. Most people don't want to accept. You do this too. You care. But only to a certain point. You listen, but not completely. You help, but only when it's convenient. When was the last time you scrolled past a friend's cry for help because you were too tired? I have. I'm not proud of it, but I have. Because deep down, you are also protecting your energy. And that's what makes this truth so real. This isn't about bad people versus good people. This is about human nature. We all want loyalty, but we aren't loyal. We want a village, but we don't show up for the village. Once you accept that you are part of the problem, the anger goes away, and the clarity begins. But here's what everything changes. Once you understand this, you stop expecting people to carry your emotions. You stop waiting for the phone to ring. You stop depending on others for deep validation. And instead, you start building yourself. You become your own anchor. You realize that the only person who's going to show up for you, every single time, without fail, is you. Let me say that differently. The only person who will never leave you is you. And that's not a sad realization. That's the most powerful realization. Because when you stop looking for a savior, you become one for yourself. Temporary people are just passengers on your journey. You are the driver. And if they get off at the next exit, the car keeps moving. Remember the moment I told you at the start? The moment where you realize no one is coming to help you. And deep down you already knew that moment, it can break you. Or it can set you free. I remember sitting in that car after that conversation. I was angry, hurt, but eventually I realized something. I was waiting for someone to care the way I cared, and that was the trap. The moment I stopped waiting, I started living. Remember this, most people don't care as much as you think they do. And that's not a sad truth. It's a freeing truth, because once you accept it, you stop waiting. You stop chasing. You stop begging for attention. You stop begging for love. And you start focusing on yourself, on your mission, on your peace. And that's when everything changes. Because you stop being a victim of loneliness, and you start being a master of solitude. Solitude is where the magic happens. If this video felt personal, it's because it is. Subscribe, because the next truth might be about you. The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself. Michel de Montaigne.